When an aircraft is parked in the open, strong or gusty winds could blow the controls about against their stops, with sufficient force to cause mechanical damage. To prevent this occurring, control locks are fitted. These may be external, as shown here in the left and centre pictures. If the control locks are controlled from the cockpit, they may be arranged so that it is impossible to open the throttle until they are removed. Remember, control locks must be removed before flight. Handheld portable water or water glycol fire extinguishers are used in aircraft. They have red containers and can be used in passenger cabins for combating fires involving domestic materials such as paper and furnishing materials. Water or water glycol fire extinguishers must not be used on fires which involve electrical equipment or liquids. The glycol is an antifreeze agent which permits operation of the extinguishers at temperatures as low as -20 degrees Celsius. The same type of extinguisher is also used for ground-based applications. Dry powder extinguishers have a blue or red container with a blue label. The use of dry powder in crew compartments or passenger cabins of pressurized aircraft is not permitted, although some light aircraft may have this type fitted. Their use inside the aircraft should be avoided if at all possible, as visibility will be restricted by the powder, which can also render inoperative otherwise serviceable electrical equipment. The agent, potassium bicarbonate, is a non-toxic powder, similar to talcum powder. It's very effective against fires involving flammable liquids, wood, fabric and paper. It's best known as being the safest extinguisher to use against wheel and brake fires, because it's least likely to cause overheated brake discs to explode. But it should not be used on electrical fires for the reasons previously stated. Dry powder extinguishers are mostly used for ground-based applications. This extinguishant is stored in signal red, purple, brown or green containers. It's very effective against electrical and flammable liquid fires. It's only slightly toxic, it's colourless, non-corrosive and evaporates rapidly, leaving no residue. It doesn't freeze or cause cold burns and won't harm fabrics, metals or other materials it contacts. It acts rapidly on fires by producing a heavy blanketing mist which eliminates air from the fire source, but more importantly, it interferes chemically with the combustion process. It has outstanding properties in preventing reflash after the fire has been extinguished. Handheld containers using BCF are used in many aircraft, and although it is slightly toxic, it's quite safe to use provided the cockpit is ventilated subsequent to the fire being extinguished. Carbon dioxide is used in trolley-based extinguishers on the airfield apron. It's stored in black or red containers with a black label. It's non-corrosive and extinguishes the flame by dissipating the oxygen in the immediate vicinity. From a standpoint of toxicity and corrosion, it's the safest agent to use and for many years was the most widely used. Having said that, if handled improperly, it can cause mental confusion and suffocation. It requires a stronger container than most other agents due to its variation in vapor pressure with changes of temperature. The use of this agent in aircraft is not permitted. Carbon dioxide may be used against most fires, and is particularly useful against engine fires, as it will extinguish the fire without damaging the engine. Foam is the principal extinguishant for use on flammable liquid fires. It blankets the flames by excluding oxygen. There are numerous types of life jacket or life preserver, and the information given here is of a general nature and doesn't apply to any particular make, model or type. Life jackets are designed as lightweight items of equipment and should be treated with care at all times. They're normally stowed in special packs or containers for ease of handling and protection. Stowage in this manner will ensure that the jacket is maintained correctly folded to ensure easy and rapid fitting if required for use. If there is any evidence of mishandling or immersion in seawater, life jackets should be rejected for operational use. Instructions for fitting are printed on the container and/or the jacket. All the life jackets are basically similar in design. Buoyancy is achieved by inflating the jacket with carbon dioxide gas, which is stored under pressure in a small cylinder, and released manually by the operation of a red toggle or lever. Once it has been released, the gas will pass through a non-return valve into the jacket and cannot be stopped. The life jacket can be inflated or topped up orally. The manual inflation tube usually contains a valve which can be operated to lower or release the pressure in the jacket. The life jacket is coloured either brilliant yellow or flame red as an aid to location, and may contain various equipment to expedite the location of the individual wearing it. If you're flying in a light aircraft over extensive areas of water, the recommended practice in respect of life jackets is that they should be worn uninflated for the flight. If an emergency occurs and the aircraft appears to be going to ditch, the pilot will not appreciate his passengers struggling to don their life jackets in close proximity to him in the cramped confines of a light aircraft cabin while he is trying to concentrate on much more serious matters. In the unfortunate event that the aircraft does ditch, life jackets should not be inflated until the wearer has left the aircraft. Although the ground crew will have checked the aircraft thoroughly, it's up to the pilot to ensure that it is safe for flight. To this end, a series of checks is carried out prior to, during, and after the flight. Initially, students will have to rely on the expanded checklist to carry out these checks. As students gain experience, the checks should become instinctive, and the time taken to do them will decrease. But every so often, students should compare their actions against the expanded checklist. Carrying out the external pre-flight check will inevitably bring the student close to the aircraft's propeller. Propellers should always be treated as being live. No part of the student's body or their equipment should be allowed to come within the arc that would be covered by the revolving propeller. After a time, students should be able to locate items in the cockpit without looking. The student's spare time should be used to practice checks, but they should beware of learning them parrot fashion. Every check should be made to mean something, and when appropriate, the checklist should always be used. The danger of loose articles in aircraft cockpits cannot be overstressed. Numerous accidents have been attributed to foreign objects left in the aircraft by untidy pilots. Personal items such as pens, pencils, keys, combs, and coins can all be the cause of accidents if they become tangled in the flying controls. If you do drop anything in the cockpit, then you must be strenuous in your efforts to retrieve it as soon as possible. If you're unable to locate it, then it must be reported to the ground crew, who will make a thorough search until it is found. Only after it is found will the aircraft be allowed to fly again. On the apron there are other aircraft and items of ground equipment and personnel, for example refueling crews. As a consequence of this, all pilots must be conscious of the safety precautions required when starting engines and when taxiing onto or away from the apron. Extreme caution must be exercised, and the taxiing speed must be kept to a minimum. Remember, the pilot is always responsible for the safety of the aircraft. Just as the checks must become well practiced, so must the initial reactions to emergencies. Emergencies are fortunately rare in modern aircraft, but pilots must be able to deal promptly with any situation that may arise. The emergency drills should be practiced frequently in the air, and the practices should be as realistic as possible. Before being sent solo, the student must know what actions to carry out in the event of a fire, both on the ground and in the air, an engine failure after takeoff, and a forced landing.